It is Rody once again. You see, in this life, we are all students where no one will ever graduate. Where no one will ever graduate. Let me share this story with you guys. In the 90s, when we came here, we encountered somebody like me. I don't say we. Let me talk about myself. I met a lot of men and women, good men and bad men, good women and bad women. Now, there was one particular man. This man behaved as if he was a good man. Each time I met him, I'm going to talk about him. Each time I met this man, he would smile at me. We spoke about life. He asked me some questions and he acted as if he liked me. Do you understand me? When I was a barber, when I was a hairdresser, I cut his hairs, he was a customer. This man acted as if, we interacted, told our stories and things like that. Our aspirations, we shared it with one another. So anytime the guy saw me, the guy would hail me. We would stand for a while and discuss about life. Never you judge a book by its cover. This is what I discovered. So, as time went by, we all struggled to get documents, struggled to get married, to have children, and progress in life. So, along the line, my business collapsed. I told you guys I had shops here in Vienna. My business collapsed. So, I now went to a company to go work in one particular company there. And that job wasn't an easy one. It was a manual labor work, and I hate manual labor work, where you use your strength to do the job, your physical strength. I hated that job. I was looking for a way out. After some time, I quit that job. I stopped doing that job. So I began to stay at home. I stayed at home for years doing nothing, and I was worried. Now, there were so many friends I met along the way. So many friends I met who went to taxi schule. That is, they went to taxi school. They attended taxi course. Went for the examination, passed, and began to drive taxi. Did you know these guys concealed these things to me? You see a black man who knew there was money, or there is money in taxi business. They will not share it with their fellow black men, fellow African people. They will hide and be making money secretly. They want to be the only ones making money. This is one mentality black men and women have that I hate. They want to be the only one that will shine, the only one that will make it. The Arabs, the Turkish people, Europeans are not like that, are not like this. Only black people want to shine alone or eat alone. Now, let me continue with my story. So there was this guy who knew, I considered him a friend. So when I was doing that manual labor job, one day, how do I put it now? One day, after the day's job, I was on my way home. I saw this guy in taxi drop a passenger. So as he was dropping a passenger, we coincidentally met. So we met. I saw him dropping a passenger. He was driving. He was a taxi driver. When I saw him, I screamed. I said, "Nah, so you are not a taxi driver." So by the time I was talking to him, the passenger had left. The passenger wasn't there anymore. So he parked on the roadside. I said, "Nah, so you are now a taxi driver." Man, I've been looking for a way to go for taxi course. I want to also become a taxi driver. Guess what the guy said? "So you want to be a taxi driver? You want to drive taxi?" I said, "Please." The guy looked at me. He peeped out, looked at me, and drove off. Man, I was shocked. He asked me, "So you want to be a taxi driver?" I said, "Yes, please. Just tell me what I need to do, where to go." The guy drove off. I was shocked. Up to today, I've never, and I will never forget that experience. This was a guy. Each time we met, we would sit. The guy acted like a brother, as a good friend. Not that he gave me anything, no, but we would share our stories, tell stories, share our plans and things like that. I thought he was a good person. We spoke about children and the rest of them, things like that. Man, just as I asked him, as I wanted to get from him where to go and attend or do my taxi course, the guy drove off. Well, I later found a way to go and do the taxi course, passed the exam, and started driving taxi. After, I kept seeing the guy. That was how I distanced myself from the guy. Even now, anytime I see the guy now, I don't greet him. If I see the guy now, we don't exchange greetings. We don't greet each other. Now the moral of the story is, not everyone that comes close to you or laugh at you is your friend. There are enemies who disguise as friends. Yes, there are enemies who come to you disguised as friends. Well, I want to end this video here. My name is Rody. Follow my page for more interesting stories. See you in my next story.